Hi everyone, it's Betty. Welcome to another episode of Use That Stashed. This episode, number 2, is focusing on using those circle punches along with your scrap papers. And you don't just have to use your scraps. If there's paper you love that you want to utilize, these are hopefully some ideas that you might actually want to try anyway, but I thought they were perfect given the size of the paper that was used to utilize some scraps. So just to get started, this first card, I thought this was such a clever idea. I saw it in one of the Paper Crafts magazines, and unfortunately I could not find it. I think that means I have too much stuff, but I couldn't find it to tell you who the artist is, but it was within, the last few months published in Paper Crafts. If I can find it, I'll put it in the notes below, but anyway, it's, using just very small circles and putting them all together, pasting them down on another sheet of paper and just layering them. I thought this was perfect for scraps because of the size, and so I have a lot of different colors, random pieces of scrap paper that this worked for. This little stick, the popsicle stick, was recycled. It was from one of those Diana's bananas, frozen bananas, and I did wash it and everything too, and then some twine, and then a little stamp from one of my MFT stamp sets. So you don't just have to use those sentiments with that particular stamp. You can also use them for something else. So I thought this was cute, quick, easy. Hopefully it inspires you guys. The next one that I wanted to share with you is I had made a bunch of tags for a tag swap with the K&Company Ancestry.com paper, and I have a ton of that left over. And so this was very quick and easy card. I punched out some 1-inch circles, distressed the edges, laid them down similar to the last card that I made. Used an impress stamp that says thank you. I did a little bit of embossing with my Martha Stewart scoreboard around the edge of the card, and that's it. Quick and easy, and a way to use those pretty papers that I love. The next card, I unfortunately cannot find the artist who did this, but this is one of the Paper Tray Ink design team members, and I couldn't find her card, and I couldn't remember the name, so I apologize again. This is not the design that she used. I followed very closely what she had done. She also put a sentiment up here. But just using some black and white pattern paper, she had just adhered different size circles to the front of a white piece of paper, and then I think she included like some accents, and I just dug into my, not often used enamel accents and, used my stash a little bit because I buy this stuff and I want to use it, and I thought this card was perfect. I haven't put a sentiment, I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but I thought it was a great way to use, different scraps of paper, and I only used, these were double-sided, so I think if you had, some strips of paper from a collection that you had left over from your scrapbook pages or whatever, this would be perfect use for it, and I thought it turned out really nice. To show you how to use it with, different look, using it with just plain old colored cardstock, I used some Stampin' Up! Pear Pizzazz because I have a ton of this from our wedding invitations left over, and I went in and embossed, punched out the circles, embossed them with my different embossing folders, and then layered on some of these recollections, those little glass beads. And so I thought it was a totally different look, but looks great with pattern paper, but you can also do it with cardstock as well. I could have inked these up more and everything. There's lots of possibilities with this. So a couple ideas for using those scraps of paper. The next one, you can't talk about circle punches and not think about lollipop flowers or flowers, and so this card, first of all, we have the flowers, but I also used my punch to punch out the front cover of this card, and then I layered in the center some I guess they kind of remind me of, like, are they posies? Why can't I think of the name of the flower? Anyway, I just, you know, wet these flowers, I used first of all, I cut out the circles in the cardstock with the 1 3/8 inch circle punch, and then I made the flowers with the 1 1/4, 1 inch, and then 1/2 inch, and then, you know, crumpled them up, wet them, put them together after I had dried them, and then put some black enamel accents in the center. And as you can see, some turned out better. I meant to have 3 dots, and some of them just kind of blended together. And then just used some scrap cream cardstock in black and added a little sentiment to that. So obviously you can go, you know, and add other embellishments. You could have embossed the front. There's lots that I could have done to add to it, but this is just kind of a clean and simple look, and I think the flowers themselves really pop. So my next card, going back to those little embossed Pear Pizzazz circles, I meant to show this one earlier, but I know it's not Christmas, but again, here's an idea for, you know, embossing some circles, you know, adding that texture, and then just doing a really simple, easy Christmas tree. And then I used some early espresso. I embossed that too with my wood grain embossing folder from Tim Holtz. You don't have to. It's not necessary. You don't have to go out and buy anything new. You could just do the plain letters and somehow, you know, ink them up or stamp on them too. Lots you can do. So, and then I just used a little scrap of that rich raspberry paper and freehand cut a little star there. So, these aren't hard, these aren't amazing cards, but I think that they're quick, easy, and just some ideas to hopefully inspire you guys. And then the next one, I used the circles again. This is from my DCWV Mademoiselle paper. I had made a card months ago and had some scraps from that. So I love these colors, and I thought I'm just going to line them up on some paper. First of all, I just scored, I don't know if you guys can really see, I scored some lines along the edges here. On both, you know, both here and there. I did 3 score lines, and then just lined the different 1-inch circles up on there. You could use a Xyron with these. I just used my snail, but if you have it, that's just an idea to use another tool that you might have at your disposal. And then using that same paper, I made this card. Again, the whole idea of having kind of those circle punches out of the front, but I used some craft cardstock. I stamped it in the background with some Versamark to give that text. A stamp that I got recently from K&Company and I had not used. So this, I just put the cardstock on here, we punched it out, and then for each of the individual things, this was from the paper also. These were just fussy cut out, and then I used my Martha Stewart punch to punch these butterflies. And I had this strip of paper, or the strip of ribbon, laying on my desk forever that I was going to use for something else, never did, and so it was perfect. I just ended up, you know, I didn't tie it or anything, I just adhered it directly both on the outside and inside. So I really hope that these inspire you to use those scraps or to dig into that stash, get your circle punches out. I'd love to see what you're making, and I'd love if, you know, if you are inspired by this and end up digging into that stash, I'd love to see what you're making. So a video response would be fabulous, or even just a note letting me know, you know, what are you going to do with these ideas? Do you have any of your own? You know, just share with everybody. And obviously I had, you know, a lot of inspiration from magazines and other blogs, and so just trying to use those ideas to use up some of my supplies. So I hope you all are having a great weekend and enjoying your time if you're off to craft. Thanks guys, bye.